A very good morning, my dear Silent Rose family. As we begin this beautiful day that God has gifted us, I wanted to bring to your reflection the life of a very special saint. His name was Saint Maximilian Kolbe. To tell you a little bit about him, Saint Maximilian Kolbe was born in the Kingdom of Poland in the year 1894, and he was a Polish conventual Franciscan friar and a martyr in the German death camp of Auschwitz during World War II. But the most important thing to know about him was that he was one of the special saints among the many who venerated our Blessed Holy Mother. Saint Maximilian Kolbe was very active in promoting devotion to our Blessed Mother, and he is known as the Apostle of Consecration to Mary. When Saint Maximilian Kolbe was 10 years old, he had a very special encounter with the Mother of God. One evening, the 10-year-old boy was devoutly spending time in prayer with our Holy Mother. He very sincerely prayed and spent time with Mama Mary and asked her what kind of a man was he to become. In answer to his prayer, Mother Mary appeared to him later that night, holding 2 crowns. The first crown was white, which signified virginity. The second crown was red, which signified martyrdom. And Mother Mary asked the young Saint Maximilian Kolbe if he was willing to accept either one of these crowns. To which this little boy replied, "I choose both." And from there on began Saint Maximilian Kolbe's special journey into God's call for him towards holiness through the beautiful vocation of priesthood. During the time of World War II, an older and more mature Saint Maximilian Kolbe, without any hesitation, fulfilled his duties as a priest, despite the many challenges he faced because of his health issues due to tuberculosis and also the opposition by the Nazis against his ministerial work. Saint Maximilian Kolbe was one of the faithful souls who earnestly and diligently stood and fought to protect Poland from the grips of Nazism. Finally, there came a day when the Nazis arrived in Poland and finally arrested Saint Maximilian Kolbe and forcefully took him to Auschwitz. In Auschwitz, despite his deteriorating health conditions, the Nazis very mercilessly forced Saint Maximilian Kolbe into working extra hard through manual labor. One day, Father Kolbe was ordered to carry a big heavy load of wooden logs, but unfortunately he fell under their weight and was severely beaten by the guards as he lay helpless on the ground. He was given 50 lashes and thrown out into the woods to die. But Maximilian Kolbe still did not die. Instead, he was carried to the infirmary where, despite the restrictions placed by the captors' regulations, he heard confessions of the sick and the suffering. Saint Maximilian Kolbe had so much compassion and love for his fellow prisoners that he would give away whatever tiny portion of soup and food that he got to eat each day. On one unfortunate day, the Nazis discovered that a man had escaped. As punishment for this, it was the remaining prisoners who had to suffer. They chose 10 men at random who would be starved to death. As one of the German officers gleefully chose the 10 men who were going to be punished, one of the men pleaded, "Please don't punish me. I want to live for my wife and children." Father Maximilian Kolbe felt a lot of compassion and pity for this pleading man, and so he stepped out and made a plea of his own. He told the Nazis, "I am a Catholic priest and I wish to die for this man. I am old. However, this man has a wife and children." And hence, Father Kolbe's death wish was granted, and he was led away to die in a dark cellar, stripped completely down of all of his clothing. While the enemy expected that Father Kolbe would cry out in sorrow and anguish, that wasn't the case at all. Instead, Father Kolbe was heard singing Marian hymns in honor of his Immaculate Mother. To the dismay of the enemies, even 2 weeks later, Father Kolbe had not succumbed to starvation and died. And so finally, on August 14th, the enemies decided to inject a fatal dose of phenol into Father Kolbe. While the holy saint encountered a very messy, disgraceful, and desolate end on earth, Father Maximilian Maria Kolbe got to encounter his dear Holy Mother on the beautiful feast day of the Assumption on August 15th in the heavenly quarters. While his earthly time came to an end, Father Kolbe's devotion to treating everybody in a compassionate and loving way brought him that much more closer to his Holy Mother. Dear friends, like Saint Maximilian Kolbe, we must never be afraid to attest and speak to the truth, no matter what the obstacles or who the enemies may be in front of us. The path set out to you by God may not be the most easiest way to walk. However, your faithfulness and love for God and His will for you can really take you a long way. However big or mighty the enemy in front of us, we have an even greater God who stands by us. He can turn your mourning into dancing. He can turn your dishonor into one of your greatest honors.